Hi, my name is Rashana. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm a registered nurse, and I have 4 kids from 8 to 6 months.
Hi, I'm Monique. I'm an attorney. I'm from Long Island, from Elma, born and raised in Queens, both boroughs, you know. And I have 2 beautiful boys from the age of 1.5 to 5.5. 1.5 and 5. There's only 2, thank God. 2, that's it.
Hi, I'm Shakira. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I currently reside in Long Island. I work for Haynes Brand International as the regional district manager. I have 1 10-year-old girl, and that's my business.
Hi, I'm Dougie. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm 31, and I have a 4-month-old, and I'm also an electrician.
Hi, I'm Tony. I'm from Brooklyn. I am a teacher, and I have 2 kids, a boy and a girl, age 10 and 7. I separate being a parent from a friend in, I'm friendly to them in an instance, but I also assert and let them know that I'm their mother, because it's certain instances where they would go, like they would go overboard, or they would test you, like the little one, she tests me all the time, and I have to let her know, yes, mommy is your friend, but I'm also your mother, and I will bust your little behind. Keep playing with me, I'll bust that behind, and she gets it real quick.
He's past my shoulder, so he always be like, "Oh, mommy, you're so little." And I'm like, "So what? I was knocking out too."
Exactly.
Like
Big things come in small packages, okay?
Exactly. But he's very he has a very friendly personality, and I'm like, yeah, we can laugh and joke, but I'm still your mother, no matter how small I am.
Because you want to be friendly with your child so they're not scared of you, that they can open up to you and tell you whatever. Because, I don't, my mother didn't talk to me about the birds and bees. No, not to this day. I'm still waiting.
Birds and bees, but
Who had that conversation?
Nobody.
I don't think it was socially acceptable anyway to talk about sex
It's
back
taboo.
before the 80s. Right? So they didn't grow up that way. But for us, we're more you have to talk about it. You can't hide your children from it because they're gonna experiment in your face. And it's so
The school talks to them about it. In 4th grade, they have in 4th grade, that early, they're taking all the girls to a special class to talk about the birds and bees and stuff like that. And they ask do you want your child to attend? Do you not want them to attend?
But
of course I want my child to attend. If everybody in her class is going to know the information, I'm not going to leave her out. In Sweden they just passed it where kids could choose their own gender.
That is kind of hard.
I'm going on the record and saying, if you're a boy, you're a boy. If you're a girl, you're a girl.
So
because there is a difference. I don't care what you say. There's a difference.
I don't think that they should even be discussing that in school. I think that they should have protections for transgender kids, obviously, because I think even around the country they're getting beat up. But I don't really think that's something they should be discussing in school. Don't tell my child he can choose what gender he wants. No, he can't choose that. Don't
Think about this. If your child feel like they can't come to you and say, "Hey, I'm a boy, but I feel like a girl," but if they have somebody in school who they can express that to, how would you feel if they come to you and say, "Hey, your child told me that they feel like they're a girl inside"?
I think that's different than having an assembly or something and telling them you can identify with whatever,
No, they don't do it. They don't.
Oh, they don't do it.
We had this little boy last year. Every day he was wearing this pink dress, and we had to explain to him that, it's a pink dress, but he wanted to wear the dress. I went and I asked him, I said, "So why are you wearing the dress?" He said, "Because it's pretty and he want to wear it." So we had to leave him. It's not like we have to, it's very tricky because we don't want to tell him what he can be from what he can't be. So we try to let him express himself the best way, and eventually he stopped wearing the dress. So it's eventually he let it go.
He
I think it was a phase that he was going through.
There has been statistics that these young kids are killing themselves. They're killing themselves, they're getting bullied because of the fact they feel like they can't express themselves. So I feel like when you, in the 90s or whenever, when you had those little girls that wanted to be firemen and those little boys that wanted to be ballerinas, maybe it was something in them that made them feel like, I really want to be a ballerina or I really want to be a fireman, but they couldn't express that because you had people saying, no, this is what a boy's supposed to be, this is what a girl's supposed to be.
I'm not saying that they can't.
I watched this show, don't judge me. It was about a transgendered Boy. That was a girl. I am Jazz.
Yeah.
Judge about that. You're trying to understand. Yeah.
She, from since she was like 5, she always felt like she was a girl. And throughout her life, her parents just, made her feel that way. Made her change her name, everything. And now she's a teenager. And she's thinking about going through the hormone changes, all that stuff. But there's a lot that goes into that. She has to see a psychiatrist weekly to make sure that this is something that she is certain that she wants to do and that she's certain that she feels this way. I mean, a transgender person is very complex because they have internal struggles all the time about, is this really who I am? Is this really how I feel? It's a battle in their mind all the time. And people don't understand that you have to be sensitive with these people because they are struggling with this identity. Imagine waking up and feeling like, why do I have to see a penis when I don't feel like this is what I need to have? This is not who I feel like I am. Even if some people may say it's a mental thing, even if it's a mental thing, you can't just dismay them because it's hard to wake up as something that you don't feel that you are. It's very hard. So if you're a parent and you see your child crying every day or struggling with their sexuality, you're going to try your best to help them, to make them feel as comfortable as possible, especially with the society that we live in that's trying to beat them down. I applaud the world to try to make them have a place because I feel like that's important. They need a place. They need some kind of voice to say, hey, we see you, we hear you. Even if you don't agree with it, they still need that.
Being a little boy, I'm pretty sure you got heard of this. When kids are little, they might have an erection, they might not know why. So I'll be 6 years old, like, mommy, my pee-pee big. I don't know what's wrong with it. And I didn't feel like, she didn't tell me, well, I didn't feel like I was supposed to be a girl or something. I was just like, yo, why's my dick hard and I'm fucking 6 years old? So, like, she would tell me eventually you would understand. You get what I'm saying? So there was never a time where I said, this is not supposed, I knew this wasn't how I was supposed to feel at that moment. I shouldn't have my fucking cock hard rocking church. You know what I mean? So, you know what I'm saying? Like, at times she said you would understand. So, like,
but that's a different thing. But you didn't wake up and say, I don't want this penis to be here.
Right.
When I woke up, I didn't want my fucking shit going through the blanket.
Of course. Because that's scary. That's scary. No, that's scary for you to wake up and be like, well, why all of a sudden it's sticking up? Of course, it's scary. That's when dad comes into play because he knows why.
But I think the difference is this. When you have an institution like the school having that conversation with your kids, saying just openly, like, it's okay for you to identify with whatever gender you want. I don't think that's appropriate where your kids are impressionable and they could be like, oh, well, I feel like a girl.
They want to be a boy today.
Yeah, or I just don't think it's an appropriate setting to have it. I think that if it happens in the home and it's fine to have that conversation, we should be accepting of everyone who's different. And there should be protections in school for them, especially in the bathrooms, this whole conversation about that. But I don't think the school has any right to tell my child, like, you can identify with whatever gender you feel. No, don't tell my child. If you see, like, homosexuality or something like, any type of behavior that you don't want your kids to kind of see at a certain age because they're impressionable, they're going to want to know what that is. Or if they see 2 men kissing or 2 girls, they're going to think it's appropriate and they're going to try to do it. So you try to shield your kids. Yes, they want to experiment. That's what kids do.
But I think that everybody experiments at some point because not every kid can say, oh, I'm a boy, I'm a girl. I feel like they just all experiment because you're still trying to get to know yourself. The personality is forever growing, especially at kids. You know that you always try to push this gender, boy, girl, but not everybody fits that boy, girl mold. Especially in your personality. You could be a girl, but you could be way more aggressive than what a girl's supposed to be. Or you can be a boy and be way too much tuned into your feminine side. So gender is fluid. If you take psychology, they tell you that gender is a fluid thing. It's society who pushes this specific standards on what a man's supposed to be and what a woman's supposed to be. So at the end of the day, it's all about how the personality develops. Everybody's going to experiment at any time in their life. whether they want to tell you that they are or not, they're going to experiment, or they're going to have a thought that runs across their mind to experiment with somebody.
But I think
or
that's
something.
different. You're talking about like gender norms and what society says women should be or could be, and what men should be or could be, or whether boys could play with Barbies, and you know, like I think that's different than.
But then some people
saying-
think that would make them gay. If you have a son that likes to play with Barbies, oh, I don't want him to touch a Barbie because that's going to make him like boys. Where did you get that?
That's not how that works. Simple. My thing about it is, physically, you're a boy. Physically, you're a girl. In your head, you have to come to terms with that. But I think you shouldn't be introduced to that at that young age. You have to make those as you get older. You
No,
can't.
but it's not even that, because I work with kids. Okay, there is a housekeeping section. So there's different things that these kids gravitate to. When you hear these conversations sometimes these kids have, you be like, whoa, wow.
And it's curiosity.
And it's curiosity. They're curious. They don't know what they're doing. So even with the little boy with the dress, he wore that dress for the whole year, you know. We could not get this dress off him. But the next year, no, it's a play dress. It's one of the play dresses in the play area. So they put it on over their clothes, and they have like a wig. You know, like you have like little wigs, and he would put on the wig, and we were like, do you know you have on a pink wig? But after a while we had to let him go. We had to, you know what we did? We observed. We watched to see what he did. And he just wanted to be pretty. That's what he told us. He just wants to be pretty.
I don't know.
And when we explained to him that, you know, girls, you know, like,
it's like, what if your daughter is wearing a short skirt? And it's like mannerism. Like, don't you have to teach your child proper behavior? I mean, I know, like, don't you have to teach them? Like, you can't just let them go and be like, whatever you want to do, you know,
You'll grow out of it.
No. I understand what you're saying, but after a little while, if you explain to them, because we explained to him about it, and he kept doing it. He kept putting on this dress. After a while, you gotta let them go. You can't tell them, no, you're a boy, and you can't. Even his mother told him, because she came in and she saw it. It's not like we showed it to her, because we wanted her to know what was going on. And this year, he has not touched a dress. He has nothing.
Yeah.
He's more assertive. No, he grew out of it. What it is too is that he has a little bit more of a sensitive side.
She was going somewhere.
You know, he's more sensitive. So, you know.